Oh boy, we just got hammered. Look at that. Something ate it. He's got it. Look at it. Look at the line go. Ready? Ready? Here we go. See, this is what's nice about it. I don't have to think about it. I just reel the handle and catch them. Engage. Yay! A crappie! We'll let that one go. All right, guys, when it comes to ice fishing, there is a time and place for set lines, and those may vary depending on how you fish. That may come in the form of a tip up or a rattle reel, or for this instance, a dead stick. I'm gonna go through a few things on how to properly set up a good set line. As you know, ice fishing can have some inclement weather and times, and a dead stick isn't always the perfect option in really crummy elements. If it's snowing and super cold, you're gonna wanna stick with some kind of a tip up or just stay in the wheelhouse. Today we have a really nice, beautiful day. We're able to hop around and keep on fish. And so I've opted to choose a dead stick when I get around a good area. I can jig with my kind of primary and then run my set line for crappies or bluegills or walleye or pike or whatever. That's the beauty of a set line, is their ability to catch pretty much any kind of fish that's swimming, depending on how you rig them. So today we're just kind of targeting panfish for the most part. We might have a bass that comes through, occasional pike, maybe a walleye, something of that nature. Now, I'm going to show you this setup right here. It's on a pail, and I have a bucket of minnows sitting in here, so it's kind of all ready to go. I have a nice little rod holder. This is a Rapala rod holder. It's a 13 combo. The really cool thing about this set line that I have paired up with this rod is the bait striker reel. Now this is something totally different that I'm not super used to, but the more I use it, the more I'm really loving it, because of the simplicity of it and the way that it presents a bait. And when a fish comes up and bites that bait, the whole system allows for a dead stick bite. What I mean by that is we're not just taking a rod and reel, loosening the drag, and just plopping it in the bucket and calling it your dead stick, right? There's a lot more to this than meets the eye. When it comes to a set line, I would say the bigger the hole, the better. Anything from 8 to 10 inch is probably ideal. The first thing I do when I look to setting up my dead stick is seeing where the line comes down in relation to the hole. I always want my line to be out to the furthest edge of the hole, meaning furthest away from the reel. That way when a fish grabs my line, that line slowly centers itself in the hole as the rod bends. Now here's the other thing. You can see when I pull, you can see how this rod holder articulates. It pivots up and down. Just one more way of making the set line that much more sensitive. Paired with a really nice rod here. This rod is actually a noodle rod, 32 inch. This is a Wicked Pro noodle. Great for panfish. Now I was talking about the reel earlier. This is where it gets really good, is this reel system. Think of this reel as having two drags. One on the top, one on the bottom. The one on the top is your fighting drag. The one on the bottom is your set line drag. A lot of times you're gonna run live bait on a set line. Now if I have a big shiner and I'm fishing minnows, I can take this drag in the rear and tighten or loosen that. So depending on how big of a minnow I have down there, pulling against my secondary drag, we'll call it like my bait drag and my fighting drag. If I have a little fathead, I don't need as much. But if you notice, once you flip the lever on this reel, you've engaged your fighting drag, which is a lot more resistance. When I flip the lever to my bait setting, now I pull it and just barely pulls into that rod. Paired with the rod holder, when it starts tipping down, it just makes it all the more easy for a fish to pull that line out as well. So let's say you get a bite, the fish takes off, and he's pulling line, pulling line. The best thing now is I just come over and you can hear the reel click. Now I've just engaged my fighting drag. So as a fish is taking off with my bait, all I do is reel down and set the hook. The reel will automatically engage that fighting drag and you're off to the races. You might then ask, well, what's on the business end of this dead stick? And we just have a little tungsten and a crappie minnow, fathead. That's all that's on there. That's all that's keeping them down there. I like something like that for this particular day and situation. If it was walleyes, I'd maybe put a spoon on the end of it or something, a split shot and a bare hook, something of that nature. But that's totally up to you. Whether you're in a wheelhouse or out on the ice or you're portable or whatever it might be, it is one of those things that I carry around with me all the time. I promise you, if you get used to it and practice using a set line, it will catch you more fish.